in 4200 BC.
A group of people from mainland Europe landed on a beach very much like this one. They brought with them innovative technology, complex religious systems, and a desire to settle down. As the light faded, they made camp. They would need rest, for tomorrow was the first day of the Neolithic age.
It's time for you to get a job.
No. As the sun rose on a new dawn and a new day for mankind, Kinney, the new migrant, familiarized himself with the local flora and fauna. It wasn't wise to look back to the horizon, for this land was their home now. Seeing the mountains laid out before them filled their very beings with sheer wonder at the power of nature. Along the way, when they got hungry, they would have had to stop and find nourishment wherever they could. Here we have some dandelion leaves, which work well as a salad. Before they managed to get established with agriculture, they would have needed to combine whatever they could scavenge from the landscape with supplies which they brought from mainland Europe. They would have also needed to keep their animals well fed. Not a lot is known about the Neolithic people, so a lot of speculation is required when it comes to understanding their culture and rituals. One thing we can safely assume is that they rated all of their foods. This mainland ham, cheese, bread and mayo must sandwich with locally foraged dandelions, I'll rate an 8. The dandelion leaves tastes like a more bitter rocket, which is not altogether unpleasant. Hello, I should probably introduce myself. My name's Kinney. Up there is Blakely Ray's Fell, and down in the valley is where we made our huts. This around us is called the Kinney Side Stone Circle. Someday my parents and myself and my dog will all be buried here. So here we have the willow tree, one of my favourite medicines. We're going to take a few leaves of this so we can make a tea and ease our aching bones. And here we have the hemlock water drop wort, a deadly poison. If you notice the smooth stems, that's how you differentiate it from cow parsley. About 5 miles walk from our home is the lake of Ennerdale. This is where we come to wash and swim, and including to wash our animals. We passed the mammoth unharmed. Given that we're in the Neolithic age, these are some new stones to look at. And It's speculated that the Neolithic people would often play the game, "What's that rock?" because there wasn't a whole great deal of entertainment around. One of the most common guesses was granite. Just have a pinkish hue. I'm aware that there should be crystals, but I don't see the crystals that much. Although maybe that, I don't really know what the crystals look like. Maybe that is the crystals. So I'm gonna go with granite, or second guess, limestone. So perhaps it is actually granite, or maybe syenite, which is a granitoid. The lake is called Ennerdale, and there is a rock type called Ennerdale granophyre, which looks fairly similar to this, and it is sort of related to granite. So I think we're going to say it's an Ennerdale granophyre, unless proven wrong. As a side note, the rocks for my family burial are actually also made from granite. So granite has a special place in the hearts for our family. Yeah, so the water tastes amazing. And we're going to stop here, dry out our tent and make the willow leaf tea, because you know my legs hurt from yesterday for hiking. Our boar meat has spoiled in the heat, so we're going to be feeding the rest of it to our hound. Yeah, so the tea smells pretty good actually. Yeah, it's nice, pretty mild. Maybe like a little kind of sagey, a little bit like a sweet sage, something like that, but fairly mild. Hopefully that will help with my legs and back and just all the pain I have throughout my entire body. Willow trees contain a compound which they extract to make aspirin from, and I think the highest concentration is in the bark, but there is still a bit in the leaves. The Latin name, I believe, is salix, which might mean close to water or sprouting forth. We made a bit of a mistake. There's a waterfall somewhere down there, apparently, and there's going to be a path on the map here, but this is what we're coming down, and it's just a scree slope really, and yeah, our Neolithic footwear is not quite cutting it, but we are making it, and dog's found a slightly better route for us over here. Yeah, so now basically I'm just sliding down on my butt on this. We just came all the way down there. There's even a bit more further up, but yeah, wouldn't do that again. Yeah, now the hairs have started to grow on my chest. My father has said that I must climb the highest mountain in the region to see the map of the landscape and the map of my life. We're coming down this route, which is pretty amazing, really.
It's time for you to get a job.
I want to be an artist and express my passion with creativity.
I will not have it any other way.
Do as your father says, young Kinney. You know what he's like when he's angry. Yeah, well, better get to work. First shift at the axe factory starts in a couple of hours, just having my morning coffee. And then we better get to work. It's the last thing I want to do, but you know, I need to get some money, and my dad will kill me if I if I just keep wandering the mountains for any longer. He says wandering the mountains, talking to yourself is not a real job. Yeah, well, not yet, at least. The factory's just down this way. Coates is going to give it a go. Good work, Coates. You could dug on you. This is the type of rock that they make the axes out of, I'm pretty sure. I think that might even be one. That's a rough axe head. Yeah, so we're getting close to it. It's not too bad, I guess. Pretty sketchy. Hopefully the way back up is okay. Welcome to the Langdale Axe Factory. Young Kinney, is it looking for a job? Yeah, your father, he sent a smoke signal ahead, so I knew you were coming. Our axes produce 21% of all axes used in the mid-Neolithic era within the British Isles. Axe heads are the best because they are sacred, and you can tell how sacred they are by looking at the scree slope. How sacred it is because in order to get there, you have to come all the way from here, so it must be really good. The faint-hearted will never make it. That means our axes make the bravest axe heads for the bravest warriors. So yeah, we've got 3 positions available for you. We've got the miner, the napper, and the polisher. What would you like? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I could be... really, I want to be an artist. You would not be an artist. You can be a miner, napper, or polisher. Oh, okay. Maybe. I could be a polisher. That sounds the most artistic. Okay, very well. But in order to be a polisher, you must first mine and then nap, because the polisher is the most highly esteemed position. Well, if that's what I have to do, then so be it. Okay. 1, mining. Here, do that for a while. Okay. Lesson number 2, napping. You take your stone and then your other stone. Try and nap this bit off. Yeah, you see? Napped. Lesson number 3, polishing. All of these tasks and you will become the finest Langdale axe maker in the whole of Cumbria. Driven, spiritual people who venerate the landscape need apply. Is that you, young Kinney? Yeah, I mean, I think so. Then welcome aboard to the Langdale Axe Factory team. Better get mining, then napping, then polishing. We're nearly back now. Yeah, I think we're, well, actually not nearly back. Nearly back at the dog, and then there's more after the dog. But it'd be nice to see the dog. We made it back up as well, which is great news because it's pretty hazardous. And again, we're in the Neolithic footwear, which is not appropriate really. Although I guess that's what they use, so maybe it is appropriate. But these days, a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, you got flip-flops on." You're basically mocking me on the mountain because I'm wearing flip-flops. It's been about 3 days walking to get to this axe factory from the coast. So you can imagine the sort of scales we're talking about for the Neolithic people. I mean, they landed on the beach. I mean, probably they actually landed on a more southern beach because they come from mainland Europe. So you're literally walking all that way, like way further. I mean, this was hard enough to get here from a close by beach, but imagine you've come all the way from a far away beach. That's even worse. But yeah, so it was a good job that yesterday we went down that scree slope, and that was good practice for Neolithic scree running. which we are seasoned in, probably not expert, but lower intermediate, which is really what I aspire to be in all walks of life. Happy for Kinney that he managed to get his job, and I hope that makes his parents happy. I just hope that he's happy. I spent the next 10 years working ceaselessly in the quarries all over Langdale, perfecting my craft until eventually I was promoted to Napa, where I had to start all over again, but all the while my heart longed for art. Even in the bath, I dreamed of the exquisite expression only art could provide. So this is part of Langdale now, which is where the axe factory gets its name from, and it is really one of the most important places for when it comes to the Neolithic Cumbria. They were even found axe heads in Ireland, and all the way down to, I think there's probably one found around in Stonehenge as well. So I'm not an expert, but I would say this landscape here, this habitat, looks ideal for the growing of the psychedelic mushrooms. Like these reeds in particular are an indicator species. And so I'm wondering actually now, when I see this landscape, if perhaps the reason they're so kind of sacred and special is perhaps because in the autumn maybe there's an abundance of psychedelic mushrooms here. Like this looks to me like the sort of place where you would get absolutely tons. Yeah, that's what I love really about the Neolithic period, is that it's just ripe for speculation, isn't it? Really, no one knows the answers. And yes, I will speculate, you know. I will rate, I will speculate. These are the mantras of the free sitting tour. Oh, it's the free sitting tour. Oh, it's the free sitting tour. Yeah, I mean, Fairy Grove. If I was going to say the fairies live somewhere, this would be it. Look, this is old forest with the moss on the trees. So, you know, it's old moss all over the rocks. Fairy forest, definitely, without speculation. 100% fact, knowledge. Put that on your Wikipedia page for Langdale, because that is true. Yeah, I mean, this whole place is magical. I think we couldn't have really asked for a better quest destination for this sitting tour, really. 10 or 8 Langdale. Just literally from that last shot straight into this next shot. What's going on here? Amazing walls. Look at this bridge. Look at this waterfall.
Would you just look at it?
Yeah, it's set. It's the only mark.
I mean, just look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, just get a look at that.
It's probably even better than Alpenstrasse, isn't it? Really, this. Yeah, I'd say the difference between this and the other ones is that this has just got more trees, isn't it? I think the other one's is quite barren, and this one's very bright green grass. And then, which, you know, is possibly down to the mushrooms. And then also amazing trees, like growing everywhere. There's even like little houses and stuff in there. Imagine living in there. That's where we should go and live. Look, they're a happy family. And we are as well. We're a happy family too, aren't we, Cokes? Apart from you're freaking out, but they're also freaking out. We're all freaking out in our own ways. This might be one of the best spots we've seen, right? So we've got old oaks there. Got amazing kind of mounds here. We've got all this kind of mushroom. Look at all those hills there. Look at those little rolling. They're so cool. And this is all just prime mushroom ground here. Then they got this massive boulder there with more willows, I think. More lovely oaks. And then over here, look at all these mountains. Like this could actually just be the most fantastic place in the whole world, isn't it? Look, right here. And this is where I'm standing. You're standing here too. You think it's amazing? It's not bad, is it? 10. And then this place, I think we should buy this and live in this. These might be the willows here. I think we'll just get a couple of these leaves. Here. This is Copto. It's the most complex canvas of prehistoric rock carvings in Cumbria. It was only discovered in 1999, and it's some of the largest and most dense carvings in all of Britain. Antiquarian William Greenwell believed They could have represented the most esoteric principle of the religion held by these people, not unlike the Christian cross or Taoist yin-yang. The meaning's open to interpretation. A popular theory is that it represents the sunset over Pike of Stickle, which is what we're looking at right now, with a large ring mark symbolising the sun. Every summer solstice, when viewing the Langdale Pikes through the gap between the boulders, you can witness the sunset behind Harrison Stickle. Because of this alignment on the summer solstice, and also the carvings themselves are very similar to Irish neolithic passage tombs. So they were saying that perhaps the art's here because this represents a portal. So as if like the whole mountain up there is the tomb, it makes the whole place sacred. And you can see like now the sun is setting. It's absolutely fantastic. I've really timed this really well. The Langdale axe heads, which, you know, is basically up there where that sun is setting, those axe heads were found in Ireland. And the art that is inscribed on this rock, it's on the left rock there, we will check it out, is very similar to that found in Ireland too. So there's a big connection, and that's what they're saying. Like Cumbria and in fact like Langdale in particular seems to be the crossroads where everyone passes through. They come here, they get their axes, they go to Ireland, they go down to Stonehenge, like they're found everywhere. Avebury, we're in the centre of it, basically, you know, Middle Earth, centre of England. And look at it. You can see why. You got to pass here. People will be like, you got to go to Langdale. You got to go to Langdale. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, I've just finished at work. Oh, it was such a pain. That axe factory warden, he's an absolute nightmare. Can't stand that guy. He's always just on my back, you know, mine faster, otherwise you'll never be a napper, something like that. But anyway, so when I'm not working, then I come down here to Copt Howe to just work on my napping a bit. I'll show you a little bit that I like to do if you want. So just kind of get a bit of napping, you know, that's it. And then, you know, sort of napped. You see, look at that. Yeah, I've just watched the sunset there. It's absolutely amazing. Incredible spot. Yeah, over here when I'm not napping, I come and do a bit of art because I've always wanted to be an artist. You know, I've made these lines in here, for example, and yeah, these kind of rings here. And I really enjoy doing this. This is my passion, basically, that I like to do to unwind after a hard day's work. You know, it represents a lot of things. The lines represent the masculine energy. The rings represent the feminine energy. It's also inspired by the sun setting behind the mountains over there. Yeah, and an Irish guy told me he was come visit to pick up one of the axes. And as he was doing it, he told me, you know, some of the techniques that they used to do it. So I was like, I'll give it a go. And actually, I love it. It's really just a lot of fun. And it's just a great way to express myself. I really enjoy doing it when I sit here, watch sometimes I make like a willow leaf tea, and make a little fire, little willow leaf tea, and then unwind because my back hurts after working in the mine all that time, and just my head hurts from that guy shouting at me. So I just like to come and unwind and do a bit of rock art, you know, casual bit of rock art. I feel like this could even be like a little, has this been cut out? This seems like this could be a kind of ritual point. You know, you put your offering in there, maybe have a fire, or like put your herbs, put your willow herb in there, or just even make a tea in here. Make a little fire and make your tea. That's what I would do. Yeah, that over there, I'm sitting on top of the boulder still. That over there is the that amazing house. And I think we're going to camp here on the other side of that. Those boulders there, so that's going to be our amazing house. Right, so here we got a really nice example of pineapple weed, which smells like pineapple. It's a relative of chamomile, and actually is really nice. One of my favourite forageable teas, probably. Thing I've noticed in our adventures is that up the top of the mountains, there's not much forageables. Bit of an issue with the mountains, isn't it? I guess you've got to forage at the bottom and then go up and get the springs at the top. That's what you got in the mountains. A lot of fresh water, not much food in the bottom. Water is a bit more dubious quality, probably. Well, it's still pretty fine, but you know, I'm definitely more inclined to drink it from further up. But there is a lot more stuff. This on the side, willow herb here. You can eat the inside of that. And then you sort of kind of peel it a bit, / open it up. And then this white stuff in the middle is what you can eat. Tiny bit sweet, a little bit chalky. Doesn't really taste like a great deal, but it's free, isn't it, from the bloody side of the road. After working at the axe factory all week, sometimes I like to come here and relax underneath this oak tree. Yeah, I come and sit up here, and then down here is where I make these little cut marks I've made, and these lines along here. I made all of these. Same that Irish guy, he told me how to do it. He said, I have a blast doing this. I always love doing this, is what he said. So I've started doing it too, and I love it as well. It's amazing. And yeah, obviously the lines represent masculine energy, and cups represent feminine energy. So it's all right there on a single stone for you to behold. And way better than making axes. Absolutely hate making axes. Much rather it be making cup and line drawings on this rock underneath this oak tree. This is the good life. When I retire, that's what I'm gonna do. Spend my whole life doing this. No more axes for me. This is a full grove now of willow. Amazing. Could have a lot of tea. Probably should, yeah, let's forage some and we'll have pineapple weed and willow tea. After 10 years of napping, the warden finally promoted me to grinder or polisher. I still like to work on my art in my free time though. My favourite was to do the lines. One day I was just happily drawing my lines, and a beautiful woman came along. We immediately fell in love, and it turned out she was an artist as well. She specialised in doing the cups. So I did the lines and she did the cups, and we had a really great time together making art all over Cumbria. We both shared a love of waterfalls, and one day, a particularly beautiful one, I decided to ask Koki to marry me. Together, me and Koki could tackle even larger canvases. At work, I just had to keep grinding and grinding. You know, now to support not just me, but my wife as well. Yeah, the thing with Koki is it's like, it feels like I've always known her, you know, it's like, it feels like we've always been traveling together. So when she came into my life, it was like we were already friends, you know that feeling? So that's how you know, like, that's how I knew she was the one. Yeah, you know when you meet someone and it feels like, you know, you bought them as a puppy and took them home with you and then like raised them to be who they are, and like then they're a dog and then you got married to them. That's what it was kind of like with Koki. It's kind of what it kind of felt like. The water, which was once clear, now ran black. A thick cloud hung over me. My loving wife and lithic force in my life, Koki, passed away last night while giving birth to our daughter, also called Koki. Fortunately, she is alive and healthy and about the same size and colour as her mother. But still, this loss is devastating. I'm all alone now. And to make matters worse, I have a single daughter to raise, as a single father all on my own. And it means that I'm gonna have to grind even harder at the factory, and I won't have any time for my art. So I'm now in mourning and dressed completely in black. Still, Koki was the light which shone through the dark clouds. For a while I ruminated, but before long it was time to get back to the grind. It felt like I was carrying a boulder of a bag up an endless hill, only to walk down the other side and carry it back up another endless hill. But we must imagine Kinney happy, for otherwise the story will be too sad. Paleolithic, Mesolithic, early late, Neolithic, Bronze Age, Iron Age, some other age, present day. Yeah, here's the spot where we want to camp, but there's some beasts there who are guarding it, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to camp there. As the sun set on the winter solstice of my life, the only thing that could ease my pain was some willow and pineapple wheat tea. As the rain closed in around me, I could only hope the pineapple weed would send me off to a sweet sleep, and the willow would heal my broken heart. The ground in the mist, and I missed the ground. Oh. Now it was just me and Cokes Jr. I had to fully adopt the grind set. I became the grind. Now there was no time for art. All that mattered was providing for my daughter. The sky began to lighten a little, and even the mist was dissipating. With each day, the grinding became easier, and I achieved a finer and finer polish on my axe heads. I had finally become lower intermediate, the highest accolade possible. And though the mist had cleared a little, the weather would never be the same. Alright, now doesn't seem to be much forageables around, and I've got no internet, so I can't really check it, but I do know that you can eat all the thistles stuff, but ow, I don't really know how you eat it. I don't know how you eat this. Ow. Yeah, I mean, it would have been a bit better with the thistle in it, but we'll have to figure out how to do that. There's some kind of mint family stuff here that we can take, maybe make a little tea with. One day while grinding on the grindstone, I achieved the highest ever possible level of polish ever achieved, the intermediate level. I was celebrated all throughout Cumbria as the greatest axe polisher to ever walk these hills. So celebrated with my axes that the leader of the Cumbrian tribes gave me a ginormous boon, which would pay for my daughter Koki's rock art education, and also set her up for life with food and housing, like, you know, a cave to live in and stuff. And I accepted because it's a ginormous boon. You've got to accept the ginormous boon when it comes along. You get a few blackberry leaves as well, just because they're here and they look pretty good, don't they? Nice colour on them. Yeah, so I finally feel satisfied. Even though I wasn't able to do the art as much as I wanted to, I found that I could make my work my art, and I poured my heart and soul into it, and really I created
beautiful piece that everyone loves. For me, work can be art. Even if I want to do something else, I can find the beauty in every action. Yeah, so we just got the mint and the blackberry leaves here. So whack those in. Sometimes I find the mint leaves can get a bit bitter, so I don't like to leave them in too long. Oh yeah, yeah, it's pretty good. Definitely get the mint through. Menthol is nice, bit of sweetness um, from the blackberry leaves, of course, and then there is a bit of like an unknown kind of bitter there. I guess maybe I did leave the mint a bit too long. Yeah, a bit of a strange taste in there. So I don't know. I guess. Well, it's pretty horrible actually. Yeah, I think we'll give that a 4. Unbeknownst to Kinney, the warden, with his hairless legs, smooth and slimy like a freshwater eel.
Because he was jealous that Kinney was able to achieve the level of intermediate, whereas he himself had only been able to achieve the level of lower intermediate. And that was thought throughout the whole of Cumbria to be the highest level attainable. So the warden slipped some hemlock waterdrop wort into Kinney's forageable stash. And the rest? Well, the rest is prehistory.